Hi guys, welcome to the discussion of BPSC 66 mains. I am Aman Soni and I am a faculty for Indian economy for the UPSC Civil Services exam. I have been taking classes for the last 10 years at various institutions in Delhi, Hyderabad and Trivandrum. Currently I am discussing with you the question from 66 BPSC mains. So let's see what the question is. Question is, an economic survey of Bihar government for the year 1920, it has been mentioned that Bihar has registered higher growth rate than the growth rate of India in the last 3 years. Which sectors of economy have contributed to this progress? Discuss. Look, I need to make it very clear. I have gone through all the economic questions. One thing which I have found out is that if you had read Economic Survey of Bihar, you would have been easily able to answer all economic questions. Same is the trend in UPSC, that if you have to write GS3 mains answers, Economic Survey of India is very important and here Economic Survey of Bihar is very important. So the question, it says ki in the last 3 years, if we see the performance of last 3 years, then the growth rate of Bihar is more than the growth rate of India. We have to tell the reasons for it. So now let's discuss. Thing is, every question it will have 3 parts: introduction, body and conclusion. First I'll tell you what do we need to write an introduction here. Look, we won't be writing introduction as a word, but it will be just telling this is the introduction. In introduction we can give 2 things always. In introduction we can either give a definition or we can give certain facts. Now in this question we cannot give definition because it's already given GDP growth rate, so it's supposed that we know what is GDP. So here we will start the answer with facts. We'll say that the GDP growth rate of Bihar in the last 3 years, it has been around 10%, while the growth rate of India in the last 3 years, it has been around 6%. Alright, and then we can say that, and we can also say that the total GDP of Bihar is 6 lakh crore rupees and per capita income of Bihar is 42,000 crore, it's 47,000 rupees. 47,000 rupees per annum. So this will be the introduction. Then we have to come to the body part. Okay. So in body we will write that following are the reasons for higher growth rate of Bihar's GDP. Following are the reasons for high growth rate of Bihar. First reason is the growth of tertiary sector. Bihar's tertiary sector, it contributes around 60% to GDP. Alright, it contributes 60% to GDP and the growth rate of tertiary sector, it has been around 8.5%. And while the growth rate of tertiary sector for India is just 5.5%. Moreover, the growth rate of secondary sector is also good, it's around 8%. For the year 1920, the growth rate of secondary sector, it was 8% for Bihar, but in India's case it was only 0.7%. So the tertiary sector, which contributes 60% to GDP of Bihar, it's growing very good. The main components in case of tertiary sector being air transport, which is growing by 36%. Other services growing by 20%. Road transport growing by 14%. So this tertiary sector, it is contributing a lot to the growth of Bihar. Then second thing is, this is the first reason. Second is agro-based industries. Say food processing industries, they are also contributing to the growth of Bihar. For example, the agro-based industries, the growth rate for them was 16% for Bihar. For India's case, the growth rate is only 3.3%. So agro-based industries or say food processing industries, they have contributed a lot. Then third reason. Third reason is Bihar government, it has managed its finances very well. It has managed its finances very well. Bihar doesn't have a huge tax base, but in spite of having less resource base, Bihar still has revenue surplus. While on the other hand, Indian government, it has a huge revenue deficit. So Bihar, it has got revenue surplus, and as there is revenue surplus, this revenue surplus, it creates a fiscal space for the development initiatives. Alright, it creates more space, more funds with the government for managing other development initiatives. Moreover, in the same point we'll write that Bihar, it has improved its budgetary allocation. It has improved its budgetary allocation through CFMS. It has improved budgetary allocation as well as operational efficiency. I am using the short form. So Bihar has improved its budgetary allocation and operational efficiency through comprehensive financial management system. So the operational efficiency has also improved. Bihar, it has religiously followed the Bihar FRBM Act. Unlike the state central government, which has regularly postponed the target, Bihar has regularly followed the FRBM target. It has fulfilled them. All right. Then the next reason. Then the next reason is Bihar brought a program called Saat Nischay program. This Saat Nischay program, or say 7 resolves program of Bihar, it has yielded huge results, and the biggest result it can be seen in case of electricity. Per capita consumption of power, it has increased by 114% in the last 6 years, and the availability of power, it has increased from 8 hours per day to around 22 hours per day. So obviously if power is there around 422 hours, then obviously because of that power, manufacturing will flourish, tertiary sector will flourish. Okay, so these are the reasons why Bihar's growth rate, it has been higher as compared to Indian growth rate. But that doesn't finish the story, because whenever we write an answer, we have to write way beyond it. We don't have to just write that answer, we have to go beyond that. So here we'll tell that yes, Bihar is growing very well, but still certain challenges remain. What are the challenges in front of Bihar? First is that in Bihar, more than 50% population, it's dependent on agriculture. And agriculture's growth rate of agriculture, it was less than the growth rate of agriculture all over India. So the sector which is giving population to majority of the population, that sector is not doing good, that sector is not growing well. Then the CPI growth rate, the index, the CPI inflation, it has also been higher than the CPI inflation all over India. So whatever has been the increased income, that increased income is being taken away by higher inflation. Then there is a huge disparity. There is a huge disparity in case of per capita income or in case of the growth of the districts. For example, disparity means inequality. For example, Patna has a per capita income of 1.12 lakh. Munger, it has a per capita income of around 42,000 rupees, 42,000 rupees. Patna is 1.12 lakh, and believe me, Munger is like in top third. Second district is Begusarai. In Begusarai, it is 45,000. Munger it is 37,000. My mistake. Munger's per capita income is 37,000. Begusarai is 45,000. Patna is 1.12 lakh, and Araria, it has only 18,000 per capita income. Alright, Araria has only 18,000 per capita income, so there is a huge disparity. Then, I told you 50% of population depends upon agriculture, and then we have seen that a lot of growth has happened because of agro-based industries, but climate change, it is affecting mostly agriculture only. So, most of the agriculture of Bihar is dependent on monsoon. The irrigated areas in Bihar is only 40%. So, 60% of Bihar's agriculture is monsoon dependent, and monsoon is dependent on climate change. So, because of climate change, the rainfall pattern in Bihar is changing. Okay, and there are more instances of floods and droughts. Okay, other challenge which is being faced by Bihar is Bihar has around 48% population in the age group of 0 to 18 years. So there is a huge dependency ratio. 50% population is dependent. So that's why most of the resources of the people, they are not able to save much, because whatever they are earning, it is being used up in feeding the family. Okay, and then the literacy, next challenge is, then the literacy rate of Bihar is also very less than the whole country's average. Okay, but again, so these are the challenges which Bihar is saying, and then we'll continue and we'll say that all is not lost, because certain suggestions have also to be given at the end of the answer. We'll say that the recent pandemic attack, it has shown that Bihar, it needs to do a lot on health and education. It needs to do a lot on health and education, and the government should bring more development initiatives in the backward districts. And then in conclusion, we will say that Bihar in the last 10 years, it has grown a lot because of Bihar Vikas Mission, and Bihar will have to continue to grow like this for the next 40-50 years if it has to remove the backlog of the previous 70 years. Alright, that completes the discussion of this question. Now, it was about this question. Now, if you want to learn complete Indian economy from me and even Bihar's economy from me, then you can download my course. You can go to Mobishala app. You can use my code IEAS 2021. IEAS 2021. Indian Economy by Aman Soni 2021. And then you will be able to get my complete foundation course. I have put up two different courses. One is for UPSC, one is for BPSC, also specifically for BPSC syllabus. You can download both of them. Now, along with this, you can go to my Telegram channel, my YouTube channel, my Facebook page, my website. All of them are by the same name, Indian Economy by Aman Soni. Recently Disha publication has also brought my book which goes by the name Indian Economy by Aman Soni only. And the highlight of the book is like after the end of every chapter I have given previous year's prelims questions. I have solved them and given. I have also given topic wise mains solved questions also. Like if the questions are coming from MSP topic, so whatever, so if I am discussing MSP in the book, then whatever questions have come from that particular topic, say from MSP in the last 10 years in UPSC, I have solved them. I have provided model answers for them. So this book, it can be a real savior for you for the Indian economy portion of the exam. And moreover, you can download my course, read my book, you go for a comprehensive package. Life will be easier for you in the UPSC exam. All right, thank you. Hello guys, welcome to Movishala. I am Aman Soni and I am a faculty for Indian economy for the UPSC Civil Services exam. I have been taking classes for the last 10 years at various institutions in Delhi, Hyderabad and Trivandrum. Currently I am discussing with you the mains questions of 66th BPSC. Now let's see the question. This is 8th question and the question is, how is human development measured? How is human development measured? What are the 7 commitments of Bihar government for achieving human development agenda? Explain the schemes of the government for achieving these goals. So in introduction, we will write that human development, it came into picture, the concept came into picture in 1990s. And human development, it is synonymous with economic development. So where economic development is increase in GDP with improvement in socio-economic indicators. So when I talk about human development, in case of human development, we are talking about these socio-economic indicators which are useful in measuring economic development. So then in the body part we will write that human development, it is measured by Human Development Index. And this Human Development Index, it was given in 1990 by 2 economists, Mehboob al-Haq and Amartya Sen. So both of them, they gave this Human Development Index, and using this Human Development Index, UNDP, it releases the Human Development Report every year. And then we have to tell on what parameters Human Development Index depends. So we will say HDI, it depends on 3 dimensions. First is, it depends upon health. For health, the parameter which we have is life expectancy at birth. Second is education. For education, we have 2 parameters. First is mean years in schooling. And second is expected years in schooling. And third which we have is, it is standard of living. For standard of living, the parameter which we have is per capita income at PPP exchange rate. Alright, so these are the various parameters of Human Development Index. So now we'll go to the second part. What are the 7 commitments of Bihar government for achieving Human Development Agenda? So we'll say that the Bihar government has brought a mission mode which is called Nischay 7 or 7 resolves. Bihar government has brought 7 nischayas or 7 resolves to improve human development in Bihar. So first nischay, we'll discuss them one by one. So निश्चय वन इट टॉक्स अबाउट आर्थिक हल युवाओं को बल. Basically this nischay it has been brought because the students, they were not able to study because of lack of funds. So how the government is trying to counter this? The government has brought schemes. First scheme which has been brought under this are Bihar Student Credit Card Yojana. Bihar Student Credit Card Yojana. Other scheme under this nischay is Mukhyamantri Swayam Sahayata Bhatta Yojana. Mukhyamantri Swayam Sahayata Bhatta Yojana. All right. Then nischay number 2. निश्चय नंबर 2 इज आरक्षित रोजगार महिलाओं का अधिकार. आरक्षित रोजगार महिलाओं का अधिकार. So basically under this nischay, what the government has done is, the government is providing 35% reservation, 35% reservation to women in all government schemes. Then nischay 3 is हर घर को बिजली. निश्चय 3 is हर घर को बिजली. So here the government has brought the scheme called Mukhyamantri Vidyut Sambandh Nischay Yojana. Mukhyamantri Vidyut Sambandh Yojana. So these are the 3 nischayas. Then let's move forward. Nischay number 4. Nischay number 4 is about water. It is हर घर जल का नल. Basically this nischay is for providing tapped water to all the houses. And here we have Mukhyamantri Gramin Peyjal Yojana. Mukhyamantri Gramin, it is for rural households. Mukhyamantri Gramin Peyjal Nischay Yojana. And then we have घर तक पक्की गली नालियां. निश्चय 5. घर तक पक्की गली नालियां. निश्चय नंबर 6, इट इज शौचालय निर्माण घर का सम्मान. शौचालय निर्माण घर का सम्मान. This focuses on construction of toilets. and last is अवसर बढ़े आगे पढ़ें. So basically under this last निश्चय, what the government has done is the government is focusing on creation of more 5 new medical colleges in the state, construction of 1 polytechnic per district, construction of 1 engineering college every district, so that more students they can study more. So then in conclusion we can say that the initiatives which this government has brought are very good for the long term development of Bihar, and along with these missions, if the government could also bring certain schemes for land distribution as well as for the upgradation of agriculture, it would be very, very good for the state. Alright, that completes discussion of this question. Now, let us about this question. If you want to learn complete Indian economy from me, you should go to Mobishala app. On that app, use my code IEAS 2021. Indian Economy by Aman Soni 2021, and you will be able to access my foundation course. I made 2 foundation courses, one for UPSC, one for BPSC. The foundation course, it will be covering core concepts, current affairs as well as economic survey. You can also go to my website, my Telegram channel, my YouTube channel. All of them are the same name, Indian Economy by Aman Soni. You can also buy my book, which is also by the same name. Alright, that completes the discussion of this question. Thank you. Hello guys, welcome to the discussion of 66th BPSC mains questions. I am Aman Soni and I am a faculty for Indian Economy for the UPSC Civil Services exam. I have been taking classes for the last 10 years at various institutions in Delhi, Hyderabad and Trivandrum. And right now I am discussing with you paper 2. So let's see what the question is. This is the 7th question. The question is that what do you understand by demographic dividend? According to the UNFPA, that is United Nations Population Fund report, up to what time India, specifically Bihar, will have opportunity to reap its benefit. Throw light on the steps taken by Bihar in this aspect. Now see this. In introduction, we have to give certain facts, we have to give definition, but as in definition, demographic dividend is asked, so we will not be giving an introduction, the definition of demographic dividend. In introduction, we will just write that Bihar's population is 12.5 crores, and out of that 40% is below 18 years. So a time will come that so from this we can see Bihar has a very young population, and then we will also write that Bihar's decadal growth rate from 91 to 2001 was around 28%, which was much higher than the decadal growth rate of India. So Bihar's population growth rate is very high, and then we will come to the body part, and then we will tell about what is demographic dividend. So in body we will write demographic dividend. So demographic dividend is the economic potential created. It is basically the economic growth potential. Economic growth potential which is created because of the population, it's shifting towards a particular age structure. Okay. So economic growth potential which is created because of shift in the population's age structure. How come? You see this, India's 62% population is in the working age, which is 15 to 59 years. So 62% of India's population is in this bracket, and this is that age group in which people will work. So if 62% of people are working, it means only 38% are not working. 38% are dependables. I'm not saying not working, they are dependables. So when we have more number of people in the working age, it means we can produce more goods and services. When more people will be getting work, more people will be getting salaries. And when more people will be getting salaries, we'll have more savings in the economy. And that savings can be channelized into investment also. So it's like we'll have more number of people who will be working, and because of more number of people working, our GDP will grow and the living standard of people will also improve. And so so you say this, if suppose there is a house in which we have 6 people. In that house, if in that house of 6 people, say 4 people are working and 2 people are dependable, will this house be in a good condition? Or in a house with 6 people, only 2 people who are working and 4 people who are dependable, that will be in a better position. Obviously, this house will be in a better position because there will be more people to work. So that is demographic dividend. And as India has a youthful population, India can reap the benefit of this changing age structure. And it is expected that in 2036, India's population, working age population, will be 65%. So India's highest number of people in working age will be at that time. And it is expected, as per the UNFPA report only, India is expected to have demographic dividend from 56 to 55-56. Till 2055-56, India can reap the demographic dividend. And for Bihar, as Bihar's population, the population growth rate is still high, the total fertility rate of Bihar, it is still around 3, rather even it's still more than 3. So in future also Bihar's population will keep on increasing. Bihar's population will always have a youthful touch. It will be youth, not a youthful touch, it will be always in a younger age. So Bihar is expected to have demographic dividend till 2100. That is expected. But obviously that has its drawback also, because if population is increasing, the burden on the resources will also increase. Alright. And yes, it's around 3. Total fertility rate is around 3. So this is the time period by which Bihar and India are expected to reap demographic dividend. And then thing is that if we have to achieve demographic dividend, next step is, we'll write to achieve demographic dividend, what do we need? We need a skilled population. We need a skilled population who can get employment. We need a healthy population which is without any disease, and we need an educated population again which can be employable. So hence we have to now discuss what are the initiatives or steps taken by Bihar government to achieve demographic dividend. So then we'll write, following are the steps taken by Bihar government to achieve demographic dividend. The biggest is Bihar Vikas Mission, not Bharat Vikas Mission, Bihar Vikas Mission. So under Bihar Vikas Mission, the government is focusing on health sector, the government is focusing on education sector. How it is, the government is also focusing on employment. So how the Bihar Vikas Mission is focusing on health sector? It is focusing on construction of toilets, focusing on providing tap water to every household. Under employment, it has brought a scheme called आर्थिक हल युवाओं को बल. To provide self-employment, encourage self-employment. Then, for employment, it has brought up options of jobs for women. It has brought a scheme which is called अवसर बढ़े आगे पढ़े. So Bihar Vikas Mission is the big initiative by the government of Bihar to bring demographic dividend. Then other initiative is Mission Manav Vikas. Mission Manav Vikas, where the government is focusing on reducing the total fertility rate, reducing malnutrition, reducing IMR and reducing MMR. Basically, this scheme is about human development, this scheme is about health. Then it has also launched a portal which is called We Care Bihar, which is again for improvement of health indicators. Then the government has also brought Mukhyamantri Balak Balika bicycle scheme. Then मुख्यमंत्री कन्या उत्थान योजना, मुख्यमंत्री कन्या उत्थान योजना. Then Bihar Skill Development Mission, it has been brought to provide skills to the youth. Then and hence we have Kaushal Yuva program. Kaushal Yuva program is also there. Then development of ITIs under PPP route is also being done. Then they are also trying to do amalgamation of CSR initiatives into human development. Then Har Ghar Bijli program is also there. Because if there is Har Ghar Bijli, or say power is given 24/7, the students, they will be able to study, they will be able to set up small manufacturing units, they can be set up in houses, it will be encouragement for cottage industries also. So Har Ghar Bijli program. And then we have Bihar Student Credit Card Scheme. Bihar Student Credit Card Scheme. So these schemes, they have been brought by Bihar government to reap the demographic dividend. Then in conclusion, we can write that if Bihar, it really has to achieve its demographic dividend, the biggest thing it should focus upon is reducing the TFR rate and educate the girls. Because if we educate the girl, we educate the whole family, and if we educate the girl and whole family, probably we will be able to reduce the TFR and hence reduce the total population of Bihar. Because ultimately, though then we can write one more sentence also, that if we are not able to provide ample opportunities to the youth, then it's quite possible that the demographic dividend we are talking about, the demographic dividend, it can turn into a demographic disaster. Hence, timely initiatives by the government are required, and proper implementation of government schemes is also required. Alright, governance reforms have to be brought in implementation. That completes discussion of this question. Now, if you want to learn complete Indian economy from me, then you can go to Mobishala app and use my code IEAS 2021, Indian Economy by Aman Soni 2021, and you will be able to access my foundation course. I have brought foundation course for UPSC as well as for BPSC. Two separate courses are there which covers core concepts, current affairs as well as economic survey. You can also go to my website, my Telegram channel and my YouTube channel, all of which are the same name, Indian Economy by Aman Soni. You can also buy my book, which is same name, Indian Economy by Aman Soni. And in that book, after the end of every chapter, I have given previous year prelims solved questions. And after the end of every topic, I have given the solved mains model answers. So for example, if MSP is coming in the, MSP is a topic in agriculture, then whatever previous year's questions have come from MSP topic, all those questions have been solved and given in the book after the end of that topic. Alright. So you can go through these free initiatives, you can buy my book, you can buy my course at Mobishala, and that will be giving you a strong grip on the subject, which is very, very important for the UPSC exam and very, very important for the BPSC exam. Alright. Thank you. Hello guys, welcome to the discussion of the mains questions of 66th BPSC. I am Aman Soni and I am a faculty for Indian Economy for the UPSC Civil Services exam. I have been taking classes for the last 10 years at various institutions in Delhi, Hyderabad and Trivandrum. Currently I am discussing with you the questions of 66th BPSC mains. Let's see the question. Question is from paper 2, question number 6. So what are the main causes of disparity in economic and social development in Bihar? Basically there is a little bit printing mistake in the question. The question is that what are the main reasons for disparities in socio and economic development in Bihar, and we also have to tell the steps taken by the government to remove these inequalities. We have to critically evaluate them, whether the government has been successful in doing it or not. Alright, let's discuss. So in introduction we will write that Bihar's GDP is 12 lakh crore rupees, but the per capita income in Patna district is 1.12 lakh, and on the other hand, the per capita income in Araria is only 18,000. Let me get the fact right. If it is 18,000, yes, in Araria the per capita income is only 18,000. So basically per capita income in Patna district is 10 times, around 10 times, say if not 10 times, say it's like 7 times that of Araria. So there is a huge disparity in case of economic issues between Patna and Araria. And same case happens in other parameters also, like the health facilities available in one district and health facility available in other districts. So there is a huge disparity, and we have to tell what are in the body. We have to tell that these are the causes for the huge socio-economic disparities in Bihar. Look, first is after 1991, after the LPG reform, the condition of primary sector in Bihar, it has actually gone down. Reason is the majority of mining and quarrying area, it has gone to Jharkhand. So the remaining sectors in which the people could work, it was only agriculture. and agriculture in Bihar is not doing that good. Okay, so first reason for disparity is that now most of the people are dependent on agriculture only. More than 50% of the people are dependent on agriculture. Second reason is that if I talk about Bihar, 60% of the GDP is coming from tertiary sector, that is services, and 20% it is coming from secondary sector. We know one thing, that tertiary sector, it is not labor intensive, and secondary sector, which is basically construction and also creation of infrastructure, it is also machine dependent. So whatever growth in GDP is happening in case of Bihar, that is happening in tertiary sector and secondary sector, and both are not creating adequate employment opportunities. So that is leading to not too much creation of employment opportunities. People are unemployed, and the people who are owners of these companies, they are making money. Hence the unemployment. The other reason for inequality is inequality in land ownership. Inequality in land ownership is also another reason for inequality in Bihar. Then other reason for inequality is the poor condition of women. LFPR of women in rural areas is just 4%, urban areas it is 5%, and it is much below the LFPR of women. And obviously we know that, so obviously if LFPR of women is not good, there is an inequality, there is a gender inequality. There is a gender inequality, there is a preference for the male child, and female infanticide has been going on in Bihar. So there is gender inequality also present in Bihar. Then next is 57% of male population in Bihar, it is self-employed. And why it is self-employed? It's not self-employed by choice, it is self-employed by compulsion. Because there are hardly any employment opportunities. The organized sector in Bihar is not that good. Its contribution is very less. If we talk about India, in India 90% of the Indian workers, they work in unorganized sector. And in Bihar, the number it may go to 95-96%. So the organized sector employment opportunities are very less. So as organized sector employment opportunities are very less, there is hardly any regular employment available. And as regular employment is not available, people they indulge in casual work. So in Bihar, what do we have is, either we have more of casual work, or what do we have is, we have self-employment, where people, they are like doing their own small petty businesses, or they become helper of someone in their own house. Okay. Then there is an inequality in rural and urban areas also. For example, 80% of the rural households, they consume less than 2400 calories. So I can say 80% of the rural households in Bihar, they are BPL. Alright. And then demonetization, it also led to huge inequality in Bihar. Then I told you another reason is that most of the development which happened in Bihar, it is in tertiary and secondary sector, and agriculture, the growth is not that good, and moreover in agriculture people suffer from disguised unemployment. People suffer from disguised unemployment, and 60% of the area of the land, agricultural land in Bihar, it is rain fed. And because of climate change, the rainfall pattern has become erratic, more frequencies of droughts, more frequencies of floods, more frequencies of high precipitation days. So because of that, the people who are indulged in agriculture, they are further going into poverty. And the people who are working in tertiary sector and secondary sector, though they are few in number, but they are getting rich. So we have very few people who are rich and we have lot many people who are poor. So these are the various types of inequalities which are present in Bihar. So the inequalities, they can be in terms of income, the inequalities they can be in terms of gender, the inequalities they can be in terms of land ownership, the inequalities they can be in terms of literacy level also, the inequality in terms of say people working in organized sector and unorganized sector. Now if I talk about government initiatives, to reduce these inequalities, we have various government initiatives. They are like, various initiatives are Bihar Vikas Mission, Bharat Vikas Mission, Bihar Vikas Mission, Nischay 7, right, which is like focusing on human development. Then we have Arthik Hal, the scheme of like Arthik Hal is also there. Arthik Hal युवाओं को बल, then we have scheme of Har Ghar Bijli. Point is that if we have Har Ghar Bijli, then cottage industries, rural industries, they will be encouraged. We will be able to get more inclusive growth, less inequality. Then one thing which has really helped Bihar is the APMCs in Bihar, they were removed in 2006. And because of that, the food processing industries, they are doing very, very good in Bihar. Rather, the growth rate of food processing industries in Bihar is more than 10%, while the growth rate for food processing industries in India is only 3%. So in that case, the initiative of Bihar regarding abolition of APMCs, they have been good, and these are the various various initiatives brought by the Bihar government for reducing the inequality. All right. And then in conclusion, we can write that now when Bihar is growing, and in the last 3 years, then the growth rate of Bihar is more than the growth rate of India. The government, in its pursuit of getting growth, should not forget about inclusive growth, and government should target inclusive growth also. Government should try to bring steps like land reforms. Then government should bring reforms to provide skills to the people. Government is trying it, but there has to be more linkages between the academics, between the ITIs and the companies. So provide skills. The government should focus on providing basic infrastructure, so that basic infrastructure and governance reform should also be brought to attract investment in the state. All right. So that completes the discussion of this question. Now, if you want to learn complete Indian economy from me, then you can download Mobishala app, and in the app you can use my code IEAS 2021. This is my code, Indian Economy by Aman Soni 2021, and you will be able to access my foundation course. I have put up 2 foundation courses. One is for UPSC, other is for BPSC. And the foundation course, it will be covering core concepts of economy, current affairs, economic survey. You can also go to my website, my YouTube channel, my Telegram channel, all of which are with the same name, Indian Economy by Aman Soni. You can also buy my book, same name, Indian Economy by Aman Soni, And if you like go through my book, if you do my foundation course, you will be covering your Indian economy comprehensively. All right, that completes discussion of this question.